Hey everyone, Leah here, just popping into this CognoHour replay. Just because you missed this live session doesn't mean that you can't participate in the Q&A. Comment on our YouTube channel, or if you're watching this through our email, just hit that reply button and ask us any question that you have about any topic that we talked about in this video. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. All right, everybody, welcome, welcome. This is going to be a really cool Cogno Hour, but then again, they all are. And I say that every time, right? So people keep telling us that the energy feels off the charts right now. Solar flares, geomagnetic spikes, nights wide awake at 3 a.m. Tonight, we're not going to complain about it. We're actually going to use it. So guiding us are the two people who turned energy talk into actual body level technology, Bill McKenna and Liz Larson. We'll walk you through a live reset so you can feel what these flares are revealing and how fast the static can clear. And if it lands, we're opening a 4-week solar flare integration series that starts August 1st. Think of it as surfing this cosmic riptide instead of bracing against it. Details are coming soon. And if you're ready to let the sun fund your breakthrough, let's dive in.
Oh, I like that. Will you put us both on, Lee? Yeah, thanks. Hey, Bill McKenna is joining us from a hotel room somewhere in the heart of LA.
I just love the way Leah put that.
Yeah,
That the sun is funding your development and your transformation. That was great, Leah. Thank you for that.
that's really good. Well,
Thanks.
so last time we did talk about this. We talked about how the intense solar activity, and what we're talking about is we are in solar maximum 11. It is a time in which the poles shift in the sun. It happens every so often. It can be every 12 years, but that's not always the case. In this case, it has been very, very intense. The Schumann resonance, which is like the heartbeat of the Earth, the vibration that the atomic clocks are set by, are going insane. The levels that they are now in certain places on the planet have never been seen as long as we've been recording. We have volcanic activity, we have earthquakes. The planet is literally being rocked and shocked, and we are part of the planet. So we are experiencing it too. And it can feel really like a lot of pressure. It can feel like, in some ways, being crushed by the intensity of it. We talked a lot about this last time, so just want to catch everybody up to speed. But there is a way to use this. And this energy also does something for those of us who are on this healing path. And it reveals the truth in us. It reveals the truth of who we are if we know how to use it. So that is what we are going to talk about tonight. So in the upcoming class, there's going to be 4 categories that we'll talk about, and we're kind of going to present those to you tonight. But anything else about the solar flares, solar maximum, Bill, that you want to share with people before we dig in?
Just real quickly, it's not only is it the Earth, but you might have noticed it in some things going on in the world, geopolitically. Like there's an awful lot of dichotomy, a lot of yin yang, and it's all pressing real hard. A lot of truths are coming out, and this has been the acceleration of the exposure of truth, and a lot of fighting. Uh, Not only is it out there, but you might have noticed it maybe a little closer to home. You're out at the shopping mall and people are like weird, and really insistent on their way in traffic. Or maybe it's even closer to that. Maybe it's right in your own house. So it could be anywhere, but it shows up really in so many ways. Liz and myself, talk about the Mandela effect, and that all of a sudden you're like, who put a third story on that house? I live here. Wait a second, that road was never there, that sign was never there. the names of things changing. You're like, am I going crazy? Am I going nuts? Because things are changing so very, very rapidly and are so very unstable. And that would be a great word. And in that instability is opportunity.
Yeah. And we don't want to make light of what people are experiencing, for sure, not at all. We want to acknowledge that it is happening and it sucks, like it feels bad. But there is a way to utilize this energy to create massive, massive change. And I think because we're all affected by it, it affects our mind, it affects our bodies, it affects our consciousness, that we all need to be aware of what's available in it, besides for the pain, besides for the discomfort. So let's dig right in. What are some of the things that this can help reveal? And reveal is the perfect word for this, I think, Bill. So what is being forced into the light? Only when you're pressured this hard does it make you look this hard for an answer. So everybody, write it down for yourself. What have you been pushed to be aware of in your own life? And be brutally honest, it's just you and a piece of paper. What have you been pushed this hard to discover about what's limiting you, what's stopping you? I know where Bill and Leah and I, we do our work, and we found some things recently in looking close at this. So what patterns have flared up again harder and faster than usual? Where in your life have you fixed something, fixed, quote unquote, thought you fixed, and all of a sudden it is back with a vengeance? It's like a bad rash. I don't know if there is a good rash. I don't know. You tell me. But
I don't think so.
well, really, so I mean, it feels like that. I mean, these things that are coming back in people's life feel like a real flare up. And take a look at that and notice where the limitation is. What does it prevent you from doing? Where does it stop you in your tracks? This particular flare up. Where does it reveal an underlying problem? And just be brutally honest with yourself, you guys. Notice it. You may not have looked at it before. And one of the biggest things about all the things that Bill and I do that we teach is about really noticing the tension in the body, noticing something that you had not been aware of before, a pattern that's running. Where are you being shown the cost of survival mode? This is a tricky one, and people are out there like, Liz, I just want to punch you in the mouth for saying this, but there's a huge cost to survival mode. And notice where you've been in it, on what subject. And notice where you've been allowing it to just be in survival mode. Notice the excuses you're making about being in survival mode. When you ask somebody, how are they? And Bill, I don't know if this is true for you, ask how they're doing. They're like, I'm just hanging on by my fingernails. 9 times out of 10 in the regular world, not in our groups, but they're like, I'm barely hanging on. Like, it's really intense. Things are really tough. So where are you being shown the cost of this? To your mind, to your body, and to your consciousness. Where is your consciousness suffering? Meaning, where are you less aware of yourself and your surroundings than you were before, even 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago? Where are you allowing survival mode to blind you from who you really are, what you came to the planet to do? And I want you to ask yourself this: who are you and why did you come to this meeting? How did you end up in this place at this time on this planet with these people? Who are you right now? And who is survival mode preventing you from being? These are limitations, right? They're ugly ones, but we got to look at them to create change. What situation or emotion is on repeat right now and is getting too intense to ignore? Which one? Are there a few? Notice it. It's on repeat. It's like that horrible song that keeps playing and playing in your office that you hate every time it comes around. Where are you on repeat right now? So these solar energies amplify what's already in your field. These are not new things. And I think you're very, very aware of this. So if you've been barely holding something back, your anger, your fear, your addiction to things like maybe controlling the universe, it's now showing up like with a megaphone. It's super, super amplified. It's not punishment, though. Nobody's punishing you. And that's the hard part. It does feel like punishment, doesn't it, sometimes? It's precision. It's putting a fine point on these things that karmically you have the capacity now to release if you know how, if you have the right tool. So the flare isn't creating their blocks. As we know, it's just illuminating them. So what would happen with instead of resisting them, you listened carefully, you paid attention, you noticed, and you allowed yourself to finally clear it out in this lifetime. So what's next? What's next is superpowers, Bill. How can this help people reveal superpowers?
Very, very interesting. This topic of superpowers, I think if you're on this call, it's one of those things you're interested in. It's also maybe one of those things that you might be a little bit afraid of because most of you have them. What truth about yourself are you afraid to own? Is there a truth that you're afraid to own? What have you always known about yourself, but haven't admitted it out loud? What gifts, instincts, perceptions have you downplayed or just to avoid criticism or being rejected? It's kind of a little bit of a weirdo thing to know the future, know what somebody's thinking, really. And it's like, huh. Or you might find guilty, like, did I cause that? Because you knew it beforehand.
Yeah.
When people compliment you, do you brush it off? Do you feel like an imposter when that happens? So many of us do that. It's like, oh, your hair looks so pretty today. So, oh,
Wait a minute. Are
Or
people saying that to you, Bill? That your hair looks pretty today? That's interesting.
my hair, I am having a pretty good hair day today, though. Um, but these hidden superpowers, these energies don't just expose what's broken, they also activate what's been buried. That thing that you call too much, too weird, or too intense, that might be your medicine. Ask yourself if the friction you feel is your own power knocking at the door. The challenge here is, are you afraid of being rejected or seen, or maybe it's just guilt? I tell a little story. I was I don't know, maybe 8 years old, and I at that me and my dad, my dad got in the car, and we were going, to go run errands, and I walked over the car door and I touched the door handle, and immediately I knew we're getting in an accident, and it was the very first time in my life, but it was like that, clear as a bell. We're getting in an accident. I opened the door. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, that's weird. Where does that come from? I never had anything like it. Got in the car, put on the seatbelt, go out. 15 minutes later, boom, we get hit. And I can still remember, I was like, oh my God, that's too much. I caused it or something. My dad's pissed, not good, not good, not good. I remember getting out of the car, walking across the lawn. I was like asking God to take it from me. I asked, this is too much. This is too much for me. And he obliged. So anyway, it doesn't mean it's not there, knocking on the door. Like, hey, it's time. Get up, wake up. So our purpose. This is another big one here. This is huge, actually. And the purpose. You know, what have you been distracting yourself from? What have you been distracting yourself from? What keeps pulling your attention, no matter how hard you try to ignore it?
You know, Bill, let me jump in here for just one sec. This is interesting because in my office, when someone comes to see me, not about like a big problem in their life or a physical problem, but a consciousness question. This is the number one question. I don't know how to find my purpose. And I will always say to them, you know exactly what your purpose is. You're unwilling to admit it. And they're like, no, I really don't. And of course, you actually do. So it's one of those really, really big questions for people who are on the consciousness path. So if this is you, pay close attention to this segment.
Yes, it is. Well, you know, it's so big. It's your purpose. So it's worth paying attention to. And that resistance that's built up, and this energy is pushing on that very hard. So where have you overcommitted, overworked, overpleased to avoid it? Avoid your path.
That one word is worth saying twice, Bill.
Say again?
That is worth saying twice. Well, I'll say, where have you overcommitted, overworked, or overpleased? And I can see you out there in this group to avoid your real path. Where have you been way too busy, in too much struggle mode, in fight or flight, and avoiding your true path? That one really hits you right between the eyes. Really does.
What message keeps showing up in your body, in your dreams, or in your relationships? You know, for a lot of us, we get the message. You know, our body is interestingly one of the basic things that Liz and myself have been talking about since the inception. Everybody who's been here before has heard this from us. Your body will express for us the emotion you cannot process. And when we're off our path, what happens is we get very tired. And if we don't listen, then we'll start to get sick, or we start to get pains in our physical body. And that is a really good indication of, hey, you're off it. How do you know you're on it? You have tremendous energy. You can do whatever you do 10, 12 hours a day, and it gives you more energy, and you're so stimulated, you just engrossed. And you have a natural ability. It's like, uh, so easy for you. It makes so much sense. Other people are confused by it, or it's very hard for them, but it's so easy for you. And it's all also good for humanity. That thing, whatever you're doing, and it could be that you are making guitars with the most beautiful sound. You make the most beautiful violins in the world, you know, or it's just unique. It's your own thing. Anyway, I got off on a little bit of a tangent there. But when the noise gets louder, the truth gets harder to drown out. And that is the essence of this big energy that's coming. The flare-ups strip away the illusion, and they expose where you've been diverting your energy, that your real assignment here can end up surfacing. If everyone feels like it's falling apart, if everything feels like it's falling apart, is what words tripped up there. Maybe the thing that wants to emerge can't grow in the old ecosystem. What if your purpose isn't missing, but it's buried under everything you agreed to do instead.
That is just massive. And I would argue again that it is never missing. You know from the time you're a child really what you're supposed to do. And most of us, and me included, spend a lot of our lives denying it. And it just gets bigger and heavier. Have you ever seen those? It's a truck pull. I mean, I live in a small town. I see Bev's nodding her head. And the tractor pulls a weighted trailer, and the weight gets heavier and heavier the farther the tractor goes. Have you seen this? And eventually it stops. So it shifts the weight until it is too heavy for the tractor. And this is what not living our purpose feels like to us. It gets heavier and heavier and heavier until we agree to do it. But what stops us is often fear. It's often fear. It can be a lot of other things too, but there's something that makes us feel as though if we live that way, we might die. And that is the pattern in the nervous system that really sends the signal into the universe. And it makes it seem true that we can't do it. We have all of our reasons until one day, all of a sudden, that feeling is gone. And if you're doing Cognomovement, it happens fast. And it's like you step into yourself and it all falls into place. And many of you here, our pracs that I know, have experienced that, where all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, obviously, how did I not recognize this? And then, like Bill says, your energy just soars. You step into who you really are, and things line up. And this energy right now, these solar flares, the solar maximum, is pushing so many of us to do that and actually making it easier because it's making all the reasons that we won't do it super clear. So,
one little last thing here. Some of you are already on your purpose, but one of the things that has come to light is if there is some component of distraction. You got your purpose, but there's this thing over here on the side that's kind of draining things or diverting energy. That thing, she gots to go, and it's ready. And the encouragement here is that whatever that is, it will be it's so much easier now in this energy. It's like it's so supporting in that when you do say, yes, okay, all right, okay, yeah, it's all right, it's gonna go. And poof, it can go quick. So we're finding that everything we're doing is working a lot faster.
well, and that's just it. This energy that's in our atmosphere right now, it's not bad and it's not good. It's just more. So when you're, hiding under your pillow, denying your purpose, that gets bigger. It's more. When you find your purpose, man, you soar. And that is really the point of all of this, is utilizing it to make what's wanted more, not what's unwanted more. And we just have to be able to recognize it. I just want to remind you guys that we're heading towards doing a Cognomovement session. And as you hear us talking about these things and they start to churn up the tension in your body, notice it. Really notice and maybe write down where you're feeling it. Notice if your heart gets heavy, if your throat gets tight, if your hands start to tingle, if your big toe starts hurting. Notice the sensation in the body that starts to build up. And this is the tension that you can use for this session. So the last one, the fourth one that we're going to talk about today is your manifestations. You may have noticed that your manifestations are either happening lightning fast or they have stopped altogether. There doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground right now. Again, it's just more. So our underlying emotions and feelings and neurological patterns are going to send larger signals. So the heavy ones, they're going to be, populating our field and sending that signal out in the universe and just finding their match. That's all. So what are you actually asking for? And what are you pretending that you don't have already? And what are you pretending that you don't want? And you really do. What are you not allowing yourself to be open to having? That's another question. What are you trying to manifest from your head, from your logical mind, but literally resisting in your body? Ooh, that's a deep question. What are you resisting? What do you know that you are offering the universe that you want, but in your body, you're like, no, thank you. For some people, a relationship is a big one of these. Like, I really want a partner in my life. I really want a partner in my life, but actually, I don't want to share my house with anybody. I really, really want a partner in my house, but I don't want to share my money with them. I really, really want a partner in my life. I don't want to give up all my time. You're wanting what's not wanted in some cases. I'll say that again. You're wanting what's not wanted in some cases. Another example of this is, I really want a great job. I really want this high-paying job. I really want this high-paying job. And yet you don't want a job at all. You want to be self-employed or independently wealthy is what you really want. So the manifestation signal gets confused, but also it gets bigger. What you're putting out there gets bigger, and you're going to end up with things that are unwanted. So now is the time to be very clear, physiologically, neurologically, mentally, and consciously about what we do truly want and what signal we're sending out. So noticing where your manifestations are falling flat and the tension that they built, and kind of what pattern it is hanging around that is possibly creating that. The intensity right now, it's really like a cosmic amplifier. So whatever you're broadcasting and subconsciously or broadcasting with your nervous system, that is going to be the thing that shows up very, very quickly, or is also held away, like, with an electric fence. So if you're noticing yourself, you're noticing me talking about this, and you're noticing yourself getting tense, I really want you to pay attention. Paying attention to this tension and where we are blocking our manifestations or reaching for things that are unwanted. This is the key. This is where you can unlock your manifestations and use this great energy for it. So you can't fake frequency. I think we all know that, and we still try. Frequency in Cognomovement world and the land that Bill and I created is really generated by your nervous system. And I want you to think about, if you know what a Tesla coil is. Tesla taught us that energy that goes round and round and round creates a field. Well, what are our thoughts and feelings? An electrical signal from the head to the body, the feeling comes back to the head, and we have a thought, and we consider it, and we think, well, okay, is that a problem or not a problem? Yep, it's a problem. We send it back down. This is electricity going round and round, creating what else but a field. And that field just connects with the greater field, and it finds its match only every time. So you can't fake frequency. It's there or it isn't. And you have the ability to change it by knowing how to change your neurological pattern, how to change the signal between the brain and body. So this is what we'll be doing for the next 4 weeks. So it's very important to be noticing for yourself what really is that signal.
No,
So,
can I just, one little thing. One of the things that we say is that your feeling is your prayer, and your prayer always gets answered. And that is that nervous system signal.
yeah.
It's my feeling, which is my prayer, and it will get answered. So the honesty, all of us, the essence of this is the discounting. And you know what? I'm guilty of this as well. I will, I'm like, oh no, I'm not upset. No, not me. No, I'm above that. No, I am upset. And I send that conflicted signal out, And sure enough, that's exactly what comes back. It just comes back really fast. So anyway, the honesty about this, as Liz is going through all this, can I be honest about it? My frustrations, my challenges, and the beauty of that is that through this program, is correcting that signal. I'm feeling different, and that's going to send out from my nervous system some other possibilities in my life.
Yeah. And the thing really to notice here, it is about sensation. Sensation is what our whole nervous system, how it decides what's a problem and what's not, what puts us into fight or flight and what's safe. This starts at conception. This nervous system starts to grow, and it just wants to keep us safe and alive, but it gets confused about what's safe and what's not safe, and it will inadvertently send signals. And the message that the body is trying to send comes out in sensation. So it can be that illness that you have that's chronic. It can be that shoulder pain. It can be how you seize up when you try to talk to somebody. It can be that constant feeling in the gut that something's just not right. It can even be those things that we call intuitive hits that are really fight or flight. They're not clear, where we're always thinking our intuitive hit is something going wrong. That's a fight or flight. It's not a clear signal. So it's your sensation that you're going to pay attention to, which always comes across as some kind of tension or inflammation in the body. When you know what that is, you can change what that is. And so that's really what we're talking about. And we're talking about that. What if this whole chaotic moment is actually a divine disruption? What if it were? Would you be willing to allow that and help it create change, turn the chaotic into the divine? Okay, we are going to move into session because Bill and I have wasted our time. We haven't wasted it, but we've spent our time. And so we only have an hour. So we're going to have Leah jump in and tell you what's next, and then we'll move right into session. So be ready for that.
All right. So quick pulse check. If your irritation's been at a 10, this recent solar flare is amplifying the exact circuit we're about to clear. If flashes of purpose pop in and then vanish, that same voltage is spotlighting your next move. So Cognomovement lets your body translate that cosmic Morse code and wipe the glitch that keeps replaying it. So over the next 4 Fridays, we go step by step: limitations, purpose, superpower, and manifestation path, all that Liz and Bill just went over. You can attend live, keep the replays forever. The series seats are limited. So I will put a link in the chat if you're interested already. Cameras on if you can. Ball or no ball, your body already knows what to do. So Bill and Liz, take it away.
All right, so let's set this up, everybody. If you're have been with Cognomovement for a while, use one of your balls that you have. We'll be using this to keep ourselves. Did somebody say something? We're going to be using the ball to keep our attention. It does lots of things, but I can't go into that right now. If you don't have one, grab a pen. Anything that you have nearby, something to keep your attention on. So the prompt for this part of the session is, what is the message for you about the solar maximum period? Because it'll pass. It'll pass and the opportunity will pass too. But what is the message from your body, from your logical mind, and from your higher self about this time? All you have to do is notice the tension in your body and listen. We're going to take you through 4 neurological prompt mini sessions to help your body release the tension that it's feeling right now and reveal to yourself a message. So just listen, don't try, and feel into exactly what your body is doing. Don't push it away. Not this time. We're listening to the tension. So we're going to start with what is called and active relax. The first thing you're going to do is simply let your eyes fall to about your shirt. Connecting with the kinesthetic body. Eyes in that down position connect with the kinesthetic body. And you're going to look into tension in the body. Where am I not allowing my superpower? Where am I really allowing limitation? Where am I off mission and I know it? And where are my manifestations falling short? Let the tension build in your body. Maybe for the first time in your life, let it be there. Don't push it away. Don't spiritualize it. Do not try to be nice. Let your body tell the truth. Good. And now with your eyes in this down position, you're going to take a big deep breath in through the nose, about like this. Good. Let your eyes roll up gently and actively relax into the body. Let your body drop on the out breath like this. Ugh. Good. And just let your eyes roll back down to your body. Just noticing. Where am I not accepting my superpowers? Where am I not in alignment with my own manifestations? Where am I limited? Where am I off purpose? Let the tension build in the body. Really acknowledge it. Drop down into it. Welcome it. On a big deep breath. In through the nose. Let the eyes roll up gently. And actively relax down into the tension like this. Ugh. Let your body drop. And just listen. Let your eyes fall one more time. How can this period of chaos actually turn into a divine moment for me? Feel the tension. Big deep breath in. The eyes gently roll up into ideas and inspiration. And on the out breath, let your body drop and your eyes stay up. Oh, good. Let your eyes just come back to neutral for a moment and notice what your body feels like. Notice if there's a little bit of relaxation. Notice if the tension has gotten bigger. Notice what's the same and what's different. Now that you know what to do, let your eyes drop one more time. Kinesthetic body, eyes in the down position. What message is there for me in this divine chaos during this period of solar maximum, intense energy? Being really aware of anything that the body wants to do, welcoming it, allowing it. Big deep breath in. Let the eyes gently roll up. Move the eyes up a little further and relax the body. Ugh. You may have just noticed that your eyes moved up further and your body relaxed deeper. Big deep breath. Just pull your shoulders up and let them drop again. Ugh. All right. Great work. Now is the time to use your ball or your pen. Move into the next session. You ready, Bill McKenna?
All right. I am very ready. This is a Cognomovement basic. You're going to grab your ball or your pen if you don't have one, and we're going to do what we call the four corners. And up, upper left, your head is straight forward and level. The same question. Limitations. Your superpower. Your purpose, your manifestation. How is all of this being exposed for me now, assisted by what's going on with the whole solar flares and energy? Breathe. Notice here what comes to you. Keep your eyes pinned. And now you're going to move diagonally all the way down to the exact opposite. Head is straight forward and level, and eyes are pinned on your pen or your ball. The exact same thing here. What is it? What is it that I'm to know? These are the 4 opinions of your brain, the 4 basics. Notice if something else comes to you here as you keep your eyes pinned right here. Breathe. Notice if there's a sensation. And now move straight across your chest to the exact opposite, low and to your left. Notice what comes to you here. Just relax and keep your eyes pinned on the ball. Head straight forward and level. Now let's move diagonally. The upper right. Keep your eyes pinned on the ball. Notice what comes to you here. Just allowing yourself to be open to it. Breathe. Move across your forehead all the way to the upper left. Notice what comes to mind here. Notice if you've been avoiding your purpose, what comes to mind. Now move straight down, lower left. Moving straight across the chest, lower right. Notice what comes. And straight up to the upper right. Keep your eyes pinned. Noticing what comes. Breathe in. Grab your pen. jot down a word or two. Notice you may have had some information come to you. And because these are parts of the brain that you don't normally use, especially around this whole subject, make a note real quick because the thoughts will be very fleeting. You might have gotten some gems. Most of you should. New thought, whatever that might be, just a couple of words just to remind you what it was. And you'll get back to it at the end and fill in the rest. Just give yourself a couple quick reminders there. And we're going to get to the next exercise, which is of tremendous value. Even those who have already done Cognomovement are going to get something out of this. And this is very, very simple. Your head is straightforward and level. You need to pick a point on the wall. Pick a point and you will not vary off of that point. And what you're going to do is we're going to go around the clock. 12 o'clock is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But your eyes are forward. You're letting your brain see the ball. Just relax. Your eyes are forward. You're utilizing what could be called your peripheral vision. But if you kind of let go, even a little bit more than that, like just the prompt is letting your brain see. And you're noticing the ball or your pen at that, keeping your eyes fixed. It's at the 12 o'clock position. Notice as you have all of your attention in your periphery or letting your mind see right here at that 12 o'clock position, what comes to you about your manifestation, your purpose, your superpower, your limitation? What comes to you? All about what's been going on. What's been going on? Is there something I'm to know? Is there something I've been avoiding? Keep your eye pinned on the point and all of your attention, your brain is seeing there at the 12 o'clock position. Slide on over to the 1 o'clock position. Same thing. Keep your eye pinned straight forward. Notice it. You can even shake the ball just a little bit to keep all of your attention on that point in space and time. Notice what comes to you. What comes to you about it? Slide on over to the 2 o'clock position. It's okay. I know some of you are feeling kind of a little bit of a drunk feeling right now, or almost for some of you, it might create a little bit of an out of body feeling. It's okay. We're just opening up different parts of your brain, which are going to give you new perceptions. Put all of your attention right there, keeping your eyes pinned, moving, sliding down to the 3 o'clock position, staying focused. What am I to know? What have I been avoiding? And the 4 o'clock position. The 5 o'clock position. Sliding over to the 6. The 7. What am I to know? Where have I been holding myself back, distracting myself? Where's the universe and these cosmic flares pushing on me? 8 o'clock. Nine o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. And 12. Breathe in, out. Oh. Again, write down whatever it is. Write it down. You probably have gotten some real new thoughts that it came in on that one. Jot down real quick. Don't let it escape. Take this moment and just one or two words just to try to capture it. And just enough that it'll stimulate that memory. And Liz is going to take us into our next session.
Okay. You know what is so interesting about that last session, and Bill is correct that it will really change how you think and what you think, because you're using the part of the brain, the parietal lobes of the brain, that have to do with your spatial awareness, where you are in space. And so thinking about these and using that part of the brain gives you that perspective, the spatial awareness perspective. So it should be interesting, those thoughts that came. So because this is just a mini session, we just have one last piece left. And we're going to go back to the active relax. Only we're going to do it a little deeper this time. So I'll show you what it looks like. Instead of just eyes down, we're actually going to roll forward, like a little pill bug. Bring the pelvis towards the head, roll forward. And on an in-breath, roll back and let the eyes come up and the chest come open. And on an out-breath, roll forward. Okay, so big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And on that out breath, a relaxing okay? So letting the eyes come down again and digging deeper now. What is the message for me? What's the real message for me in this solar flare, this solar maximum period? What can I glean from it? Ready? Big deep breath in. With the eyes open, let them roll up. Let the head fall back. Let the chest fall open. Breathe a couple, 3 more sniffs. Hold it and let it out. And let the eyes roll back down. We're moving from kinesthetic body into ideas and inspiration in one fluid movement. What is there for me in this? What's the message? Ready? Big deep breath in. Let the head come up. Let the shoulders fall back. 3 more sniffs. Hold it. And let it come back out. This should feel great. Ready? Letting any tension that's left be there in the message. What is here for me? Ready? Big deep breath in. Let the eyes roll up. 3 sniffs in. Let the head roll back. Chest open and out. And let the eyes roll back down. Great work, everybody. One more. What is in this for me? What can I get out of it? Ready? Big deep breath in. Let the eyes roll up. Let the chest come open. 3 more sniffs. Getting all the oxygen. Let it come out. And let the eyes come back down. And just rest for a second. Let yourself deeply rest. And let yourself feel into all that's been going on lately, all the divine chaos. And let your body talk to you. What's the real message? What is there to know? Let your logical mind talk to you. What does it know about what's available now? And what does your higher self have to say? Bring your shoulders up. Big deep breath, let it out. Turn your head to the right or left and gasp, create a yawn, drop your chin. Oh. Other side. Oh, good. And even though it was really a very short session, we took you through a lot of areas of your nervous system, a lot of areas of your brain, through your logical mind, through your spatial awareness, through your kinesthetic body, into your ideas and inspiration. So we gave you a lot of ways to look at this, to see it, and to make some new discoveries. So Leah has a quick message for you about the upcoming class, and then we will stay around for a few minutes for a Q&A. If you have questions right away, start putting them in the chat. We'll answer them in the chat. And so we'll be back in just a minute.
All right. Like Liz said, just make sure that you put your questions in the chat. If you want to learn how to get this 4-week series that's coming up for free, keep listening. I will let you know. So take a second and feel what shifted for you in that exercise. Maybe your jaw finally let go, or the mind noise dropped a notch, or you got a really good idea, or you just felt a tiny little shift. That's evidence that this works. This was a very tiny piece of Cognomovement. So if you felt any kind of shift, you know that this work works. Now imagine that being a full session times 4 of those resets, and each one is timed to the hottest solar flare window of the year. That's exactly what we're doing in the solar flare integration series, and it's what we built it for. So you're going to get 4 live 90-minute sessions, August 1st, August 8th, August 15th, and August 22nd. Lifetime replays so you can loop back anytime the cosmos spikes, and weekly email nudges to keep the momentum humming in between calls. So if you want to get that class, I am putting the link in the chat. If you want to get it for free, all you have to do is get a CognoConscious ticket. So if you're feeling the pull towards CognoConscious, which is our 5-day in-person deep dive this September, the entire 4-week series, you get that for free if you get a CognoConscious ticket tonight. So I will drop the CognoConscious link in there as well. Your system is louder than ever right now with these solar flares. You can translate that message, or you can keep reaching for the volume knob and just keep turning it down. If you have questions, fire away. If you already know this is a yes, grab your spot and then stick around for the Q&A.
All right. And we are back. What is on your mind? Leah, do we have some questions already?
Hold on, I gotta get you. What if you already have a CognoConscious ticket? So this promotion is for those who don't have CognoConscious yet. If you do have a CognoConscious ticket already and you want to join this series, email me and I'll give you a coupon code, especially for you. Would this be the best series to do to stop limiting myself?
Yeah. So this is a great series. The 4-week series is a great series because what's going to come up for you is what is the limitation. So we're going to talk about 1 week will be what is your superpower, your hidden superpower that becomes available. The next week, we're going to talk about limitations. What is limiting you? The truth is, you likely know, but there's something about your nervous system that wants to suppress that information. It's a little too scary. So this will unveil that. Your mission or purpose is going to be the next week. And then your manifesting, what's blocking your manifesting will be the following week. So I would say this is a very good one to stop limiting yourself. Now, if you want to dig way deeper the 5-day CognoConscious is that it's not for everyone because it's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life and the most fun and the most fulfilling. And you will find a tribe like you've never found before. But it is 5 days and it's live in San Diego. So it depends on what's available for you. I highly recommend CognoConscious. And I recommend doing this class leading up to it. Every year we do a series before CognoConscious. And for many of us, Bill and I included, it's a warm up for that as well.
All right. So let us know if you have questions about these solar flares. This is a really great time. You don't always get live Q&As with Bill and Liz. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. So somebody said, what happens if one buys the class and cannot come in September? I may have to travel. Okay. So if you get a CognoConscious ticket today, you do get this class for free. If you decide that you want to buy the 4-week series now, and then you just want to wait until you can see if you can travel for CognoConscious, you can do that as well. If you're wanting to purchase CognoConscious tickets to get this class for free, and then something happens and you can't come to CognoConscious, you can apply that to next year's CognoConscious. So,
I wouldn't miss this one though. This is going to be something special. Did you know that there is a special astrological alignment during the week? It's the 8th through the 12th, some kind of an amazing portal. Several people have told me about it, and we didn't schedule it that way. And it happened that way last year too. But it is something that only happens, very, very rarely. I'll have to look it up so I know a little bit more about it. I'm not that into astrology to know. Maybe some of you here know this, but September 8th through 12th is going to be a big alignment as well. So that will be super interesting.
Okay. Bev says, so excited for CognoConscious.
And we can't wait to see you, Bev, one of our practitioners, amazing practitioner on the East Coast.
Yes. So CognoConscious, this is a fun one. And also the 4-week series. Like I said, this is actually, according to scientists, is supposed to be the height of the solar flares right now. So I know that we kind of have talked about this throughout this thing, and also during our emergency call last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. But I know that people are feeling it. Like for me, I have been knocked out a little bit without Cognomovement, without getting up and being like, oh my gosh, I can fix this. I have had the worst neck pain. Like I have just been knocked out for the count, like, sad, tired, anxious, like my emotions are super heightened. And you just, as a Cognomovement person, you just know that it's not an excuse, because you can do Cognomovement and take that energy and actually use it for something good and change your whole life. So even if you just do the 4-week series and not CognoConscious, this is going to be amazing for you. If you do CognoConscious with it, you are going to have a huge transformation. And just so you know, this CognoConscious is going to be the last CognoConscious of its kind. The next CognoConsciouses are going to be different. They're going to be amazing, but this one is going to be the last one of its kind. So I would definitely get on it if you want to join.
Yeah, things are going to change a bit around it next year. So I just want to say too that why do we choose Cognomovement? Not just because it's our modality, but it's because it's the only thing that really works with those electrical signals in the body and reroutes them with intention. So there's lots of other things that talk to the nervous system that you end up with what you end up with, right? There's change, but what specifically? We've devised a way that we can work with the brain, the eyes, the spinal cord, the sensations in the body to make a change that's very, very specific, from unresourceful to resourceful. And that's the way we look at it. The reason that there is so much bothering our nervous systems is because we're electrical in nature, and this is electrical energy. It's just more. And it feels like our circuits are blown out. And I think in a lot of ways, that is an accurate explanation for what's happening. So using the Cognomovement system, which harmonizes your nervous system, down regulates the nervous system, harmonizes the hemispheres of the brain, you can integrate and utilize that extra electricity. You can help your body ground it. You can help your body utilize it as a superpower, like we're talking about it. You can use it for brain power. It's not just bouncing around your system, creating havoc and chaos. And what Leah's saying is true, that each of us use it daily for that purpose, to really utilize this energy in a way that becomes resourceful from an unresourceful place. So that is that.
Amika said, let's see. She says, know that each CognoConscious is one of a kind.
That is true.
Louise said, when we did the clock movement, my right ear hurt until we shifted sides of the clock.
Interesting.
Beverly said, I had a really painful flare-up in my right knee in the last session a couple of weeks ago. Been doing Cognomovement and stretching at the same time on and off since then. Had acupuncture and Rolfing too, which have all helped. Hoping this session and series helped to release it because it spreads up to my right hip. Also my pot smoking really kicked up over the last week. And I had quit for a while before that. It came on like a vengeance too, but I'm alcohol free for 70 days and able to stick to it. Been wondering what the heck is going on. Definitely don't feel like myself recently.
Yeah, Bev, I mean, it is this extra energy, and it has been hotter and hotter and hotter. If anybody's interested in knowing more about the solar flares or the solar weather, you can look up Stefan Burns on YouTube, and it's Stefan with a PH Burns, and he's a scientist who actually shows all about it. Did you know that we actually have cameras now that we can see? Anybody can watch it at any time the solar flare is moving off. So Bev, as one of our practitioners, you may notice this all being connected. And so you can use your neck, releasing the neck, to release that hip and knee. So you're going to find the tension in the neck as it relates to that hip and knee and relax down into it. So definitely reach out to one of your Cognomovement practitioner family for a trade on that. Someone who knows, who's expert at releasing the neck and knee, because it will change that for you. Once you are able to do this for yourself, you learn how to do it. It will help you on the slopes next year when you're working on all the other skiers. So just know that you're not alone in all of this flare up, but that you have the tool to change it for yourself. So reach out for help if you need it.
Yes.
That's one of the great things about being a practitioner is you get free sessions for life, as many as you want. Every practitioner trades. It's a little secret that behind the scenes nobody knows about, but all the practitioners globally trade with each other. So it's unlimited free sessions with an expert. So anyway, Bev, take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Can you share a time someone cleared a limitation in one session?
Only every time. I'll share one from this week alone. Oh, do you have one, Bill, you want to share instead?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Like I got so many. Okay, get this one. Lifelong. There is a disorder called oppositional defiance disorder. Now, we don't cure or treat any disease, but an oppositional defiance disorder is, let's say Liz says, hey, Bill, do this. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. Just whatever. Hey, you want a hamburger? No, I want a hot dog. Hey, how about some pizza? I don't want pizza. I want French fries. Whatever. Everything, if you tell the person what to do, no, not doing it. You probably have some people and you find that you have to dance around them. You got to think real careful before you make a suggestion. You kind of have to workaround. One session, and this person a week later said to me, I had the most surreal experience that I was able to tell now what's actually good for me. And I was actually able to listen and not have the automatic reaction. It was kind of the beauty of this for me. It was twofold. Number one, the joy of seeing this for this person, but the way they looked at things was very different. Like, oh, like the world opened up. I can actually see what's good for me now, and I can accept it. I thought that was just a gem. And this is, like Liz, we're talking about every single couple, day. So anyway, Liz, tell a good one out of yours.
Well, this one is interesting. And so we don't just work with the nervous system inside the body, we work with the nervous system outside the body. And it's actually palpable, visceral, the areas outside our body that hold our neurological patterns. So I was working with a guy who has a family issue that's been going on for a while, and he's been working through, and eventually he'll have to leave the marriage that he's in. And he had all these reasons, and they were on his left, and he kept pointing to them over here. All the reasons, all the reasons. So I asked him to run his fingers through that and feel if it felt thick on that side. And he's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't. Kind of feels gross. And he's not a person who ever had felt into his field before. And you could see him kind of working his mouth like, yuck, and all the reasons, and all the impossibility of this whole situation. For the rest of his life, it's going to be impossible. So we got to the part of the session where I actually had him feel into the opposite side. And he was like, wow, 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 it's clear over here. And actually, you know what? I have this I can do, and I have that I can do, and I have this I can do, and I have that I can do. And he started to move things literally from one side to the other in the field that were a bridge that created possibility where there was only limitation. And it was fascinating to watch. And then we had him feel again over to the side, and our nervous system literally ejects the energy into the field. You can see it on camera even. And he reached over and felt that this was so much lighter, so much clearer, and that there was all of this availability over here. And that wasn't a session, that was one portion of a session. Ta-da.
Amazing. Okay. Could these flares be accelerating collective awakening?
Oh, that's been predicted.
Yeah.
This prediction, this is they knew this was going to happen a long time ago, and there is so much that goes along with this. It is accelerating us from the third to the fifth dimension. And anyway, there's an entire course that you get when you go to CognoConscious, the map of the levels of awareness. And there's a whole hour course on that. So anyway, if you do get your ticket to CognoConscious, Leah will get you that course. But it is absolutely going to happen. And the difficulty in your life is how much you resist it. How much am I resisting my purpose? How much am I pushing back on my gifts? Therein lies the challenge within your life. It goes back to the basics, which we talked about at the beginning. Your body will express for you the emotion you cannot process, and you might be feeling those aches and pains, different things. So now's the time, as Leah says, time's up.
Time's up.
And we always say that when you do this work for yourself, that you do it for at least about 1,000 other people. So remember we were just talking about that your energetic field, your electrical system, this is a biological part of your body, not a woo-woo part, literally throws off into the field, throws off energy into the field, correct? And that interfaces with the rest of everybody else's field. And so when you change you, there's a ripple effect throughout about 1,000 other people, all the people in your house, because they're in your neurological soup, your close friends, even people that you run into at the grocery store, the cashier, the guy who pumps your gas, because you are so different and you are not perpetuating the negative, the anger, the fear, the pain. It makes it easier for everyone else to change that. So it is true that when you do this work, you don't just do it for you, you do it for everyone else that you encounter. So that changes us as a collective. The other thing that's very different is this changes it at the electrical signal. It's not just changing your ideas. It's not just changing your thought. That's actually a side effect. Your thought changes as your signal changes, and then that reflects into the field as well. It's not about spiritualizing the pain or the discomfort. It's about heading right into the neurological pattern and shifting it out. That is a true, lasting, permanent change that happens. And it echoes really, I would say, throughout the universe. Just the universe, that's all.
The universe.
I
Can
want to
you?
tell. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I tell two more quickies?
Sure.
Okay, first one. I gotta tell this one because it's just if this don't make you cry, I don't know if we got to do something. Um, Down in Florida, one of our practitioners, mother has a son on the spectrum, really completely in a state where he had not been able to hug his mother his entire life. And the kid is now, I think, in his 20s.
26, I think, yeah.
26 years old. And our practitioner did the session. And then afterwards, where's my mom? I want to give my mom a hug. Nobody tried to say, hey, you need to hug your mom. You need to give her affection. Nothing. He's like, wanted to hug his mom. And now that's reality. And imagine being that mother who'd never gotten a hug from their son. Really? Serious? I mean, wow. Not only for the son, and the son was just like, well, I just never wanted to before. I forget how it went, but it just didn't occur to him. Anyway, so that's the first one. And just to set the scope of, like what's possible within this session, it goes from that all the way to something we talked about in our latest interview this week, was a session that happened at CognoConscious. There was a woman who came in who had a business who had been for sale for 10 years. Oh, and couldn't sell it. No offers, nothing happening. 10 years. And there were so many feelings about family and problems. And this is a business that's worth, tens of millions of dollars. And so it's meaningful if the business would sell. Anyway, does the session, clears the emotions around the family. In there's tears, realizations of my family didn't hate me. They actually love me, and oh my God, it was a whole false perception. At the end of the session, this is in CognoConscious, that day, the email comes in. You have a deal, you have an offer, and the business sold. So anyway, when me and Liz are so excited about this, because it is that way, there are so many possibilities across the board, and the stories are so bizarre. And that's why it gives us such joy, is to be able to be part of it. Anyway, Leah, sorry to interrupt, but I get overly stimulated. Here, that question just stimulated me too much.
You're muted,
Um,
Lee. You're muted.
I said, all right, well. Just a couple of more questions, and then I think we'll be done for the night. First one is, can you clear too much too fast?
Oh, I don't think that's not a thing with us. The body will clear what it is ready to clear and what's available to clear in the moment. Our nervous system is so smart that the first time something lets go that's been stuck, and the body's like, oh, I just got that energy back. And that's what happens. It takes the energy away from the old pattern and moves it into the rest of the body to heal and think and love and do all the things, right? So quickly, it will accept those prompts and clear out what else is possible. Sometimes the body will actually start to go into what we call neurological overload. It'll want to fall asleep. It really just says, okay, that's enough. And usually, if we go slow and we let the body rest, not even that happens. But the body will give you the signal, okay, I'm exhausted now. And then as that session processes out, and remember that the session is only the first piece, the body fills in around that after the fact. And so a month later, all of a sudden, you'll think, oh, wow, I just thought I had a new idea. Or, oh, wow, I just had a new perspective. Or, oh, wow, that issue in my body just changed, because the body is morphing and changing around it and has more energy to do so. So the body will let go on its own time. With that being said, the next session, your body will be like, wait a minute, here's that problem that I've had for a while. It'll present itself to be changed. So people who do Cognomovement a lot recognize this. All of a sudden, an issue comes up in the body. You're like, oh, thank you for that information. I know that's ready to be changed. So I think that would be my answer to that.
Yeah. All right. And then the last question is, after the series ends, how do I keep the momentum going? So I'll answer part of that, and then you guys can say your final thoughts as well. So the first thing is, with anything Cognomovement, there isn't like the event high and then you lose everything afterward. And you have to keep doing it in order for things to change. Things change during these sessions. You get your results during these sessions, and then they continue to integrate afterward. So you really don't lose anything. But if you want to keep doing the work, if you want to keep going, and you are working on the next thing and the next thing to clear, then you want to go to CognoConscious. That is the next thing. That is like the best thing. But if you can't come to CognoConscious, there's all kinds of courses. There's all kinds of things you can do. And lastly, but definitely not least, the practitioner certification program. So there's lots of ways to continue doing Cognomovement. But if you join this 4-week course, the results you get to keep, and you don't have to keep hitting them to get the results you're looking for. We work these sessions, we hold your hand throughout the whole thing, and you actually get to clear those out during the session. So that's what I have to say about that. And Bill and Liz, do you have anything else you want to say, or anything you want to add to that question?
I just want to add that where Cognomovement is different in these sessions, when you make a change, you keep that change because it's at the neurological level, where it's not just an epiphany in the mind. Literally, the wiring changes so that you don't have the old thought anymore. Something new emerges. So you're always on to the next plane, the next level. You don't have to keep doing Cognomovement to hold on to it. But most people choose to keep things moving and growing. People who do this work, if you're here tonight, you're about continuing to grow and change who you are as a human. Arrive at who you came to the planet to be at a minimum. And so you continue to do the work to keep growing, keep getting bigger, keep becoming more of who you really are. So that would be my answer to that question. How about you, Bill? Last thing before we go tonight.
It's a lot like a tree. You know, when you see a tree grow, there branches come, and then off of the branch, another twig starts to grow. Cognomovement, when you do a session, you may have a part, that is unavailable, and you start growing a new connection. And then off of that, other connections grow. So it's like a tree filling out. The 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 possibilities after a session become unbelievable. People's lives change because those new neurological connections that weren't there before and what comes off of those are just amazing. It's unpredictable in the most positive of ways.
Yeah. So I'll answer this last thing and then we're going to say goodnight. We've kept you after school too long. Ambika says, what if you realize that you're not human? What happens then? So lots of people who are on the planet right now probably came to be of service and to help during this time and may not incarnate here. It's a whole other topic, may not incarnate here normal. But if you've arrived on this planet in a human body or a humanoid body, you still have to do the human thing. You still have to be affected by solar flares. You still are affected by everyone else's energy. And you still have a nervous system that can get clogged up with other people's energy, with experiences. So even if you're not always human, you still have to do this work. It's part of the game that we have. And many of us who have that situation have a very high energy capacity that is ready to move on. And it is the only way that you can be of the kind of service that you want to be, is to get that cleared out and get that energy usable for the planet. So that's all for now. Yeah, right, Ambika, you were being silly, but that was a real question. All right, darling, I hope, Ambika, that we see you very soon and can't wait to give you a big hug. I love that question. All right, see you guys all again next time, and we'll see you in class.
Thank you.